Go ahead.
Good afternoon. Welcome to this regular meeting of the Providence City Council. Today is Thursday, July 16, 2020. And Mr. Clerk, please call the roll.
Council President Matos.
Present.
Councilwoman Anthony.
Present.
Councilwoman Castillo.
Present.
Councilman Correa is absent. Councilman Espinal.
Present.
Councilman Goncalves.
Present.
Councilwoman Harris.
Present.
Councilman Igbiozi.
Present.
Councilor Kerwin is absent. Councilwoman LaFortune.
Present.
Councilor Miller is absent. Councilman Narducci is absent. Councilwoman Ryan.
Present.
Councilor Salvatore.
Present.
Councilman Taylor is absent. You have 10 present and 5 absent. You have a quorum.
Thank you. The invocation is going to be given by Deputy Majority Leader Harris.
Let us just take a moment and just prepare our hearts, souls, and mind to greet our Heavenly Father in prayer. Heavenly Father, I come to you tonight asking you to bless us all, Lord. Bless our families, bless our children, Lord. You have given us, Lord, a job, Father, a job of leadership, a job to guide your people, a job to make sure that we're using passion, love, and blessing in each and every person in our lives. Lord, allow us to be that person, especially now, Lord, as we are faced with many, many, many trials before us, Lord, as we're starting to think, Lord, about us as leaders, what our role is. How can we be helpful, Lord? You assigned us in this time for a reason, Lord. And I know you assigned us because we are all special. We all been called into this leadership. Father, I ask you to teach us how to encourage each other, how to pray for each other, even when we hear things, Lord, in times of trouble for each other. Father, I ask you to teach us how to be leaders of our communities and our neighborhoods and not be tumbleweed, blowing back and forth with every error, Lord, but to be patient and be still and wait for your directions. Father, I pray this every night. I pray this prayer because we're in troubled times and you have signed us with over your most precious people on this earth. And Father, you also have given us an opportunity to see change being made right under our leadership. So I pray for each and every one from our administration, body, from our government to Congress, that we all, Father, be still and hear your voice and do what you have assigned us to do. I pray this in Jesus' name. Amen.
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 President, you are unmuted.
It would help if I get myself off mute, right? I pledge allegiance to the flag, the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands,
one nation,
under God,
indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I
Great
say it
flag,
a lot
Mary
right
Kay.
before that.
You like that?
Great flag, Mary Kay.
You like that? And I still remain singing.
Woo.
Thank you. Mr. Solicitor, can you please state the legality of this meeting on the record, please?
Yes, good evening. So per executive order of Governor Raimondo, it is appropriate and permissible for this council to hold this meeting via video conferencing.
Thank you. Mr. Clerk.
Approval of minutes. Item 3, journal number of the regular meeting of the City Council held June 18, 2020. Journal of Proceedings number 18 of the special meeting of the City Council held June 25th, 2020. And Journal of Proceedings number 19 of the special meeting of the held June 30th, 2020.
Motion to move, Madam President. Madam President,
Leader Ryan,
thank you. Motion to move approval of item 3 on a voice vote.
Second, Madam President.
the motion has been made and second to approve item number 3 on a voice vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it.
Item 4, appointments by His Honor the Mayor. Communication from His Honor the Mayor, dated June 17th, 2020.
Madam President. Madam President,
Leader Ryan,
motion to ask the clerk to read items 4 through 13, and the council president will receive.
the motion has been made. Is there a second?
Second.
The motion has been made and second to ask the clerk to read the items 4 through 13. These items will be received. Mr. Clerk.
Communication from His Honor the Mayor dated June 17, 2020, informing the honorable members of the City Council that pursuant to Section 302B of the Providence Home Rule Charter of 1980 and Section 2-354 of the Providence Code of Ordinances, he is this day reappointing Jason Almeida of 116 Lancaster Street, Providence, Rhode Island, 02906, as a member of the Art and City Life Commission for a term to expire on April 12, 2022. Item 5, communication from His Honor the Mayor dated June 17, 2020, informing the honorable members of the City Council that pursuant to Section 302B of the Providence Home Rule Charter of 1980 and Section 2-354 of the Providence Code of Ordinances, he is this day reappointing Joe Haskett, Senior Associate at Union Studio of 228 Transit Street, Providence, Rhode Island, 02906, as a member of the Art and City Life Commission for a term to expire on April 12, 2022. Item 6, communication from His Honor the Mayor dated June 17, 2020, informing the honorable members of the City Council that pursuant to Section 302B of the Providence Home Rule Charter of 1980 and Section 2-354 of the Providence Ordinances, he is this day reappointing Xander Morrow of 848 Atwells Avenue, Providence, Rhode Island, 02909, as a member of the Art and City Life Commission for a term to expire on April 12, 2022. Item 7, communication from His Honor the Mayor dated June 17, 2020, informing the honorable members of the City Council that pursuant to Section 302B of the Providence Home Rule Charter of 1980, as amended in Public Law, Chapter 45-50, Sections 1 through 31, passed in 1987, and Executive Order 2016-1, he is this day reappointing Daniel Moreno de Luca of 85 Hillary Drive, Providence, Rhode Island, 02908, to the Bike and Pedestrian Advisory Commission, for a term to expire on June 11, 2024. Item 8, communication from His Honor the Mayor dated June 17, 2020, informing the honorable members of the City Council that pursuant to Section 302B of the Providence Home Rule Charter of 1980, as amended, and Public Law, Chapter 45-50, Sections 1 through 31, passed in 1987, and Executive Order 2016-1, he is this day reappointing Leo Lavelle of 92 Modena Avenue, Providence, Rhode Island, 02908, to the Bike and Pedestrian Advisory Commission for a term to expire on June 11, 2024. Item 9, a communication from His Honor the Mayor dated June 17, 2020, informing the honorable members of the City Council that pursuant to Section 302B of the Providence Home Rule Charter of 1980 as amended, and Public Law, Chapter 45-50, Sections 1 through 31, passed in 1987, and Executive Order 2016-1, he is this day reappointing Jeff Nickerson of 61 Penn Street, Providence, Rhode Island, 02909, to the Bike and Pedestrian Advisory Commission for a term to expire on June 11, 2024. Item 10, communication from His Honor the Mayor dated June 17, 2020, informing the honorable members of the City Council that pursuant to Section 302B of the Providence Home Rule Charter of 1980 as amended, and Public Law, Chapter 45-50, Sections 1 through 31, passed in 1987, and Executive Order 2016-1, he is this day reappointing Dina Quezada of 48 Princeton Street, Providence, Rhode Island, 02907, to the Bike and Pedestrian Advisory Commission for a term to expire on June 11, 2024. Item 11, communication from His Honor the Mayor dated June 17, 2020, informing the honorable members of the City Council that pursuant to Section 302B of the Providence Home Rule Charter of 1980 as amended, and Public Law, Chapter 45-50, Sections 1 through 31, passed in 1987. He is this day reappointing Meg Klarman of 69 Weymouth Street, Providence, Rhode Island, 02906, as a member of the Providence Tourism Council, also known as the Convention Center Authority of the City of Providence, for a term to expire on April 30th, 2023. Item 12, communication from His Honor the Mayor, dated June 17th, 2020, informing the honorable members of the City Council that pursuant to Section 302B of the Providence Federal Charter of 1980 as amended, and Public Law Chapter 45-50, Sections 1 through 31, passed in 1987, he is this day reappointing Rick Simone of 83 Jenks Hill Road, Lincoln, Rhode Island, 02865, as a member of the Providence Tourism Council, also known as the Convention Authority of the City of Providence, for a term to expire on April 30th, 2023. Item 13, communication from His Honor the Mayor, dated June 17th, 2020, informing the honorable members of the City Council that pursuant to Section 302B of the Providence Home Rule Charter of 1980 as amended, and Section 42-63.1-11 of the Rhode Island General Laws, he is this day reappointing Stephanie Fortunato, Director of Art, Culture, and Tourism for the City of Providence, to the Greater Providence Warwick Convention and Visitors Bureau for a term to expire on June 30th, 2023.
Thank you. All items are being received.
Ordinance, second reading. The following ordinance was in City Council July 2nd, 2020, read and passed the first time, and it was returned for passage the second time. Item 14, an ordinance and amendment of Chapter 27 of the Code of Ordinances of the City of Providence entitled the City of Providence Zoning Ordinance, approved November 24th, 2014, as amended to change the zoning district on the official zoning map for the property located on Assessor's Plat 28, Lot 932, 193 Benton Street, from R3 to R4, and to exempt such lot from certain dimensional regulations.
Madam President,
Leader Ryan.
motion to pass item 14 for the second time on a roll call vote.
Second that motion, Madam President.
Thank you. The motion has been made and second to pass item number 14 for the second time on a roll call vote. Mr. Clerk, please call the roll.
Council President Matos.
Aye.
Councilwoman Anthony.
Aye.
Councilwoman Castillo.
Aye.
Councilman Correa is absent. Councilman Espinal.
Aye.
Councilman Goncalves.
Aye.
Councilwoman Harris.
Aye.
Councilman Igliozzi.
Aye.
Councilor Kerwin is absent. Councilwoman LaFortune.
Mute. She's muted.
Councilwoman LaFortune. For item 14.
Aye.
Thank you. Councilor Miller is absent. Councilman Narducci is absent. Councilwoman Ryan.
Aye.
Councilor Salvatore.
Aye.
Councilman Taylor is absent. You have 10 ayes and 5 absent. The matter passes for the second time on a roll call vote. Presentation of ordinances. Item 15. Councilman
Madam
Correa.
President,
Leader Ryan.
motion to waive the reading of items 15 through 28 and refer to the special committee, special ordinance to the
To the Committee of Finance.
Sorry, I'll do it again. Motion to waive the reading of items 15 through 28 and refer the special ordinances to the several ordinances to the Committee on Finance. Sorry, couldn't get that out.
Second.
Thank you. The motion has been made and second to waive the readings of items 15 through 28, and these items will be referred to the Committee on Finance. We're going to pass this on a voice vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? The ayes have it.
I just wanted to, sorry for point of order, there was a motion made for items 4 through 13, and I don't believe that we actually took a vote, but the council president just stated that all the items should be received, which I believe is fine. the motion was to take them. I don't think we actually.
My motion included, that the president would, receive.
Receive, yeah.
Yes.
My motion
Mr. Solicitor, do you want us to take another vote just in case, or when you're good?
Yeah, I thought I heard differently, but yes, you might as well just vote again, voice vote, just to be certain.
All right, so taking back the motion from the items 4 through 13. The motion was made by Leader Ryan, it was seconded by Deputy Leader Harris. And it was to read the items 4 through 13, and those items were going to be received. I'm just asking for a vote again on this for the record from this item. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? The ayes have it. Okay. Thank you.
Item 29. Councilman Salvatore, Correa, Espinal, and Goncalves, ordinance, and I also have an addition of Councilwoman LaFortune as a co-sponsor, an ordinance and amendment of Chapter 23 of the Code of Ordinances of the City of Providence entitled Streets, Sidewalks, and Public Places, adding Article 7, Street and Sidewalk Sweeping.
Refer to the Committee on Ordinance.
Presentation of resolutions. Item 30. Council President Matos. Resolution authorizing approval of the following contract extension award by the Board of Contract and Supply in accordance with Section 21-26A of the Code of Ordinances for waste management of Rhode Island in the amount of $7,143,000 by the Department of Public Works.
Thank you. Item number 30 by request is going to be referred to the Committee on Finance.
Item 31. Council President Matos.
Madam President,
Leader Ryan.
motion to ask the clerk to read items 31 through 34 into the record and to pass on a roll call vote.
Second, Madam President.
The motion has been made and second to ask the clerk to read the items 31 through 34 into the record, and those items will be passed on a roll call vote. Mr. Clerk.
Item 31. Council President Matos, Councilwoman Harris, and Councilman Igliozzi. Resolution requesting that pursuant to Section 402 of the Providence Home Rule Charter and at the request of the Executive Director of the Providence External Review Authority as required by Section 18.5-2, H2, and S of the Providence Code of Ordinances, the Providence City Council hereby issues a subpoena compelling the Commissioner of Public Safety make available all body camera footage in the investigation of Sergeant Joseph Hanley to the Providence External Review Authority within 1 week of the date of issuance of this subpoena. I also have an additional co-sponsor of Councilwoman LaFortune. Are there any additional co-sponsors?
I am, Mr. Clerk.
Castillo, Espinal, Anthony, Goncalves, Ryan,
Councilman Salvatore.
Salvatore.
Thank you. Item 32. Council President Matos, resolution requesting the Director of the Department of Planning and Development promulgate rules regarding administrative tax stabilization agreements. Any additional co-sponsors?
I would like to co-sponsor.
I see
Go.
Harris, Anthony, Ryan, Salvatore. Any additional? Castillo, did you?
Councilwoman, I had my hand up for something else.
Okay, so sorry.
I'm so sorry.
So, Councilwoman Anthony is not co-sponsoring this item.
So noted. We've added
Wait, this is item
32.
We're item 32. We can have discussion on this item. I can explain. So this is to make sure that whenever there is any changes are going to be made to items like a TSA that was approved by the City Council, that there are rules set up about how this is going to be done.
Is it discussion time for that one, Madam President?
Yeah.
So the only concern I have is that tax stabilizations are strictly in the purview of the Providence City Council. we have the exclusive authority. We're the only branch that can do it. And I would just want to make sure that whatever rules and regulations the executive branch decides to promulgate doesn't, first of all, it wouldn't necessarily impact the city council's authority. And I want to make sure that they don't infringe upon our authority. And that because, so I'm going to abstain on this because I like to see what they like to promulgate, because over the years, traditionally, the executive branch always wants to usurp the council's authority of tax stabilization. And as I always tell the executive branches over the years, I said, if you want us to give up the tax stabilization authority, then you need to give up your authority in certain other things. Oh, no, we don't want to give our authority, but we want you to give up your authority.
No.
So my only concern is the planning department would be advocating for the empowerment of the executive branch, which would then potentially conflict with the legislative branch's exclusive constitutional authority. So for me, I'm going to abstain at this time. That's all I
Madam
ask.
President?
So, Mr. Chairman, let me explain better, hopefully. This.
Okay.
So right now, the director of planning has the discretionary, she can make changes, or he or she could make changes, and it's up to the discretion of the director of planning, but there is no rules right now about how those decisions are made. So it's not actually taking power away from the city council. It's a power that is right now vested within the director of planning. And my only concern is that there is not clear rules about how the decision is made.
Okay.
Madam President?
That's fair enough.
I
you.
see Leader Ryan, and then after I see Councilman Salvatore, Leader Ryan first.
Thank you, Madam President. Just a clarification for my colleagues. This is rules regarding administrative tax stabilization agreements, not tax stabilization agreements in totality. So the council passed administrative tax stabilization power. It's a limited power, but you're asking, or this resolution is asking for rules and regulations regarding the administrative tax stabilization agreements. Point of clarification, it's an important one. This isn't regarding tax stabilization agreements in general. Thank you.
Thank you, Leader. Councilman Salvatore?
Thank you. I would just add that, I think the administration, and we've been having this conversation since, Madam President, our first term on the council, in terms of when TSAs are changed and the level of oversight that's provided for by the city and who is responsible for it. And I have to say that the administration and the council have done a subpar job of providing for that very critical oversight of tax stabilization agreements. And there are some very good contractors who adhere to the agreements and the contracts that they sign on to. And then there are the same players that continuously break the rules of the contracts and the agreements that they agree to. So any movement to provide additional oversight, or at this point, just the minimum oversight, I think is a win for the city taxpayer. So I applaud you for introducing this. I would make a recommendation to take it a step further and take the recommendations from the committee that studied TSAs back in 2013 and hold the administration's feet to the fire and have quarterly meetings in the finance committee to ensure city taxpayers that the tax breaks that they're providing developers is being adhered to. So thank you.
Thank you, Councilman Salvatore. I will ask that we pass this one, and I would be more than glad to do something jointly with you to clarify and add this feedback also for another one.
Thank you.
Any further discussion on this item? Mr. Clerk?
Thank you. So I have Councilors Ryan, Harris, Salvatore, and Castillo added as co-sponsors, and I recognize Councilor Kerwin has joined as well.
Thank you.
Not the item, but the meeting.
Yeah, Councilman, let's make it official. Councilman Kerwin has joined the meeting. Please make that, put that into the record, please. Thank you.
Madam President? Madam President?
Councilman Iglesias?
Yeah, I mean, with that additional explanation by the majority leader, I'd like to then co-sponsor that item. that clarification was spot on. Thank you. So I'd like to co-sponsor the item, please.
So noted.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
32. Thank you.
Item 33, Council President Matos and Councilman Espinal, resolution requesting the Department of Planning and Development and the Department of Inspection and Standards implement a security deposit assistance program. Any additional co-sponsors?
I can give some discussion on this item. So what happens is that right now, when someone is a victim of a fire or someone is evicted from a property because of the city condemned the property right now, basically there's not a fund, there's not any way how we can assist those families so they're able to find another apartment and pay for the down payment maybe the first month. So that's what that is the intention of this item. I see Councilwoman Castillo has her hands. She wants to co-sponsor. Councilman Espinal, you want to speak on it?
Yes, Madam President, thank you. Thank you so much also for the opportunity to co-sponsor such an important piece. This is relief. This is help in a time of need. People that are in distress, people that are in desperate need. It's good to know that our city will put something together where we'll be able to help them out, such as a critical piece when you're executing a move, which is a security deposit. So I applaud you, Madam President, for that, and thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you, Councilman. Next, I saw Councilman Igliosi, Chairman Igliosi, then would be Majority Leader Ryan, then Councilwoman Anthony. So Councilman Igliosi.
I just want to I'd like to, no objection, I'd like to co-sponsor that item also, Madam President.
Sure.
Thank you.
Councilwoman Anthony wants to co-sponsor also?
Yes, please.
Okay. Councilwoman Anthony, Councilman Goncalves, Leader Ryan. Do you want to speak or just want to co-sponsor?
Co-sponsor, Madam President.
Leader Ryan wants to co-sponsor. I also see Deputy Leader Harris, Councilwoman Kerwin, Councilman Salvatore also.
And Madam President, may I co-sponsor item number 32 as well?
Sure. Councilwoman LaFortune, you want item 33 or 32?
33, let me make sure.
33, okay.
Yeah, I'm already.
Councilwoman LaFortune?
I'm already as a sponsor in 34.
Oh, for 32, okay. So Councilwoman LaFortune for item 33?
So noted.
And Deputy Majority Leader Harris, you have your hands raised?
Oh, no.
Okay.
I didn't know. Oh.
All right, just checking. All right. Mr. Clark.
Item 34, Councilwoman Anthony, Councilman Goncalves, Espinal, Councilwoman Kerwin, LaFortune, and Miller. Resolution requesting that the city shall commit to transforming into an anti-racist institution by following the continuum on becoming an anti-racist multicultural organization, by continuing to support and invest in structures, programs, and policies that align with the Just Providence framework and climate justice plan. Any additional co-sponsors?
May I have someone speak on that? I'm sorry, I didn't grasp for that. I should have called upon.
Okay.
Yeah,
So item number 34, so the sponsors would like to speak on it?
I would
Please.
like to speak.
Councilwoman Anthony?
Thank you. This is an environmental racism resolution. So basically what this does is connect our environment with racism. Climate change impacts our marginalized communities disproportionately. The city's Office of Sustainability, in partnership with the Racial and Environmental Justice Committee, have created the Climate Justice Plan that addresses these interconnected issues of public health, racism, climate, and environmental sustainability. The Climate Justice Plan has applied this framework to center frontline communities in the discussion. They've done extensive outreach with marginalized communities in coming up with this plan. It's actually recognized as a national leader and model for community-centered planning, power shifting, and climate justice. As a matter of fact, I think Leah and her team have traveled to Colorado to present this climate justice plan. It's something to be very proud of. So they hope that the Office of Sustainability through this plan hopes to update existing policies such as zoning, develop new programs such as green justice zones in our frontline communities, and create the new policies that will help mitigate the climate crisis, especially in the frontline communities where the crisis is only exacerbating health and economic inequities. So I just wanted to give Leah and her team a big shout out. This is an impressive plan, and I think it's very timely. And putting our marginalized communities first, and the preparation and development of this plan is exactly what we should be doing as a city.
You're muted.
Thank you. So item number 34, any additional discussion? I know it's Councilwoman LaFortune.
Thank you, Councilwoman Anthony. And just to piggyback, what I think is so remarkable about this whole initiative and the work that the Office of Sustainability is doing and the Racial and Environmental Committee is that it's a committee of diverse people from the community. And there's real advocacy. And also, as Councilwoman Anthony stated, it's really recognizing the intersections of race, class, as indicators in environmental justice assessments, which is a major component. And so it's really trying to address issues around climate change, but taking those things into consideration so that we are not leaving out some of our most vulnerable community members. And what is so unique is that this committee is made up of people from the community, living in the community, engaging with people within the community. So it's not just outsiders that are providing us with input, or feedback or recommendations, but it's people who are living it every single day, who can share personal anecdotes, as well as policies to address these concerns. So I also thank the Office of Sustainability as well as the Racial and Environmental Committee for all the work that they're doing. And I do hope that all my colleagues support this resolution.
Any additional discussion on this item? Councilman Espina?
Thank you, Madam President. I just want to echo what Councilor Fortune so eloquently expressed, as well as my colleague, Councilwoman Anthony. And I also just want to add that our residents and our future residents deserve nothing less. That the time is now for us to take action. I believe that we can change the trajectory of our collective history by working together. This is a great resolution. I applaud the sponsor, and I ask my colleague for their support. Thank you.
Thank you. I see Councilwoman Castillo. You want to co-sponsor? Or you want to speak?
I want to be the co-sponsor for this item, and also I forgot to be co-sponsor for item 31, please.
Mr. Clerk, did you make a note of that? Thank you. So, I see Councilman Goncalves has been waiting. Do you want to co-sponsor or you want to speak?
I would like to speak on this item, if that's okay, Madam Chair.
Yes, go ahead.
Great. So if my memory serves me well, on October 2018, the report entitled Special Report on Global Warming of 1.5 degrees Celsius by the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change issued a report and found that a changing climate is causing sea levels to rise and an increase in extreme weather events that certainly threaten human life and healthy communities and critical infrastructure. Right here in Providence, we see the challenges of climate change at our Port of Providence. So I applaud Leah and her team, as well as Councilwoman Anthony for bringing forth this resolution, as well as Councilwoman LaFortune and Councilman Espinal, as well as all of the members of the community who have been involved in this effort. On Earth Day of 2016, I believe, Providence Mayor Jorge Elorza signed an executive order that set a goal for Providence to become a carbon neutral city by 2050. This past fall, the city released the Climate Justice Plan for a more equitable, low carbon, and climate resilient future. And there's a study by the Rhode Island Department of Health that indicates asthma continues to disproportionately affect Rhode Island's racial and ethnic minorities in certain parts of the city. And African American and Hispanic children are disproportionately affected by asthma and more likely to be hospitalized due to asthma. Additionally, this report says that 71% of all asthma-related emergency room visits in Rhode Island are for children on Medicaid. And as we know, individuals who reside in South Providence, Washington Park, Wanskuck, and the West End, where many frontline communities of color live, are being overly represented when it comes to asthma-related emergency room visits. And the United States has historically been responsible for a disproportionate amount of greenhouse gas emissions. And again, we're seeing this right in our own backyard. So this resolution is an important step in confronting the challenges of climate change in our city. And I urge everyone to co-sponsor this resolution. Thank you, Council President.
Thank you. Thank you, Councilman. Deputy Majority Leader Harris, you have your hands up. Do you want to speak?
Yes, I did. And I want to thank very much the co-sponsor for the sponsor for bringing this matter. I really appreciate all the definition and explaining of what this ordinance is about. I really appreciate that. And not only am I going to want, if the sponsor allow me to co-sponsor, I'd like to co-sponsor, but I also like to support it as well. Thank you all for your estimation of what's been happening when you brought it forward to us. And thank you for that, bringing this resolution today. Thank you.
Thank you. I also would like to co-sponsor the item. Councilman Salvatore is waiting. Councilman Salvatore?
I'd just like to co-sponsor, Madam President. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, so Councilman Salvatore and Leader Ryan. Right. So motion was made and second. The clerk read the items. Mr. Clerk, do you want to call the roll now, please?
Council President Matos.
Aye.
Councilwoman Anthony.
Aye.
Councilwoman Castillo.
Aye.
Councilman Correa is absent. Councilman Espinal.
Aye.
Councilman Goncalves.
Aye.
Councilwoman Harris.
Aye.
Councilman Igliozzi.
Aye.
Councilor Kerwin.
Aye.
Councilwoman LaFortune.
Aye.
Councilor Miller is absent. Councilman Narducci is absent. Councilwoman Ryan.
Aye.
Councilor Salvatore.
Aye.
Councilman Taylor is absent. You have 11 ayes, 4 absent. The several matters pass on a roll call vote.
Thank you.
Item 35, Councilwomen Anthony, Kerwin, Miller, LaFortune, Councilman Goncalves, and Espinal. Resolution approving the final community choice aggregation plan and authorizing the plan to be submitted on its behalf to the Public Utilities Commission for review and approval.
Madam
Refer to the
President,
Committee on Finance. Leader Ryan?
that's fine.
Leader
Thank
Ryan?
you.
May I speak? May I speak, President?
Thank you, Madam President. I'm fine.
Councilwoman Anthony?
Yes, before we refer that, I'm wondering if I might speak.
Oh, sure. So go ahead, Councilwoman Anthony.
Okay, I am just, so there's a timing issue with regard to this, this resolution. As you'll recall back in, let's see, we passed back on September 9th, 2019, we approved a resolution directing the Office of Sustainability to research, develop, and implement an aggregation plan. I guess I would say that I didn't expect to see this come back to us. My understanding is that that plan was going to be drafted and the PUC was going to be reviewing it and approving it. My understanding is that when they brought it to the PUC, which is the Public Utilities Commission, you know, they said that they weren't able to, they would prefer it to be approved and sent to them from the city council. So I know that there's been quite a bit of input into this plan. They had a public hearing on last night. I think if we put it off now, we're going to be off. There's a lot of other communities that are also doing the same thing at the same time. If we don't get it to the PUC for them to review it, we won't be in the position to bid when we need to bid. As you'll recall, we're trying to, this program is to create a default electricity supply for Providence residences. So instead of simply utilizing National Grid's electrical supply, Providence will bundle together the electricity needs of its residents and small businesses to put out an RFP. The RFPs are, you know, they have to be able to be acted upon fairly quickly to give us the flexibility we need to enter the market. Enter. So this is, if we put this off and we allow this to be referred to committee now, we're not going to get this out of committee and we're not going to be up and running when we need to have these RFPs ready to go. So I'm just saying that if we put it off now, it will probably, we won't be meeting in August. We won't be able to act on it till September, and we're going to be woefully behind. There are other communities that are at the same stage we are that are moving to the PUC for approval also. And I'm just, to put this off at this point, I think would be very detrimental to us. So I would ask that we pass this.
Councilwoman Castillo has been waiting, and I saw that Chairman Iglesias has his hands up. So Councilwoman Castillo and then Councilman Espinal. Councilwoman Castillo.
I agree with the Councilman Helen Anthony because, you know, right now with the National Grid don't have any competition. And also that program is running in different cities in Boston and other ones. So I believe that's something like we can try and we can put in together to help people in our community to pay maybe less money, to give it the opportunity to people take, you know, like I can take my decisions I want to be. So I want to support this ordinance, and I want to, you know, we can pass now, no waiting for go back to the finance.
No.
Councilwoman Castillo, thank you. We have some question about the process for this item. I just want to check before I give you an answer. I just want to check. I know that Chairman Iglesias has his hands up. Are you all set, Chairman Iglesias, or you want to speak?
No. If you want to talk about what that process is, I have no problem. And then I'll wait until you.
Then in that case, I'm gonna go. Thank you. I'm gonna go to Leader Ryan so she can explain what are the concerns with this item, why we're not passing it tonight. Then I'm gonna go back to the council members that were waiting, who are Espinal and Salvatore. Leader Ryan, are you able to give us the feedback?
Thank you. I can try. First, the administration didn't notice us until about a week ago that we needed to approve this plan. That's why it is on the docket. So that is from the administration. So an approval is required from the body. I guess there are concerns about notice requirements, and we haven't gotten a response from the AG to make sure that the notice from the PUC was executed appropriately. I'd like to take this opportunity now to ask the solicitor for his opinion on how we should proceed with this, given the fact that we have been apprised that there's a concern about notice.
Well, so I wasn't aware that there was a concern about notice. I was aware that there was a public hearing last night, and that it was appropriate to have the public hearing, and that the public hearing was noticed. What exactly is the notice concern? Because I'm sorry, I apologize.
That's okay. And I'm struggling on this too. I have some sketchy information, but what I understand is that the public hearing that was held last night didn't have appropriate notice.
And can I ask the clerk to please fill in the information that he has in regards to this item? Mr. Clerk?
I can speak to the requirements by the Secretary of State. Those requirements to post a public meeting agenda within 48 hours of the meeting, those were done according to law. However, there are some additional regulations related to the public hearing type public meeting, especially, and those laws are different depending on the nature of the public hearing. I honestly cannot speak to that, whether that law was met, because it has to do with how the public hearing is advertised in the public newspaper. And I also personally, I don't know who else may have done this, I personally did reach out to the Attorney General just to ask for guidance on that, as I was being asked to post the meeting itself. I have not yet received any response based on the schedule of the public hearing advertisements in the newspaper that the city completed.
So, Council President, if I may, I would say that the way in which I can weigh in is my office was satisfied that the Open Meetings Act was being complied with. I'm not sure. I'm not aware of PUC regulations that may or may not have been. I guess I need to understand better the question, because we were asked to weigh in prior to the public hearing on who could host the public hearing and whether they were properly noticing it, and we were satisfied that the proper host was hosting the public hearing and that it was being noticed in accordance with the requirements of the State Open Meetings Act.
So let me read to you the feedback that I got about this item. It says the clerk's office asked but has not yet received an opinion from the AG regarding whether the Environmental Sustainability Task Force advertisement of the public hearing met legal requirements. The statute requires 2 weeks of advertising, and this one was advertised for 1 week. The advertisement had a registration page which was never implemented. So if someone was trying to register to speak, that link that was advertised was not implemented. The final draft of the plan still hasn't been circulated to the council members, and it was only finalized this morning. So those are the reasons why we decided to move this item instead of voting to 9 on the floor, instead to send it to committee. But I'm just going to go to the council members that have been waiting to speak. I know Councilman Espinal, and then after Councilman Salvatore. Councilman Espinal.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I had no knowledge of what had transpired in regards to the notice. I just want to go on record, though, with my full support for this plan. And I'll remind everyone that this aggregation plan was developed by our Office of Sustainability, who have done great work, and it has been vetted through public outreach and engagement. And let's not forget also that the Public Utility Commission is required under this plan to approve the final plan before being implemented. So the public utility would have an opportunity to review the plan. So I'm confident of the plan, and I ask my colleagues for their support. I think it's a great plan. I think it's way overdue. And I thank you and the rest of my colleagues so much.
Next is Councilman Salvatore. He has been waiting.
Thank you. I just want to be noted as a co-sponsor on this item, Madam President, and thank Councilwoman Anthony and the other co-sponsors on their strong advocacy for this important item. Thank you.
Thank you. I have Councilwoman Anthony. I see that you're waiting, but I have 2 council members that have not spoken in this item, so I'm going to go to them first. So I have Councilman Goncalves has been waiting, and then Councilwoman LaFortune. Councilman Goncalves.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I think Councilman Espinal hit the nail right on the head, so I would just like to echo his sentiments.
Thank you.
Councilwoman LaFortune.
Thank you, Council President. I also want to echo Councilwoman Castillo's sentiments that we should not wait and we should vote this on the floor. Our community deserves to have options to open up competitive rates. And as Councilman Espanol said, that the final review has to be done by public utilities. And so I am concerned if we don't vote on this on the floor, that we're denying our community options in choosing a utility company that will provide them with excellent service, as well as provide them with competitive rates in which they can afford. So I also encourage my council colleagues to support this, and hopefully we can have an opportunity to vote on this tonight on the floor.
Thank you. Could I please ask that the council members already spoke to lower their hands from this so I can have a real count of who needs to speak next. So I see we have Chairman Igliosi, Leader Ryan, and Councilwoman Kerwin.
Madam President, could I interrupt?
Leader Ryan?
I asked the solicitor a question and I believe I wasn't clear. So if it's okay, I'd like to go back to my request for clarification from the solicitor. From my question was relative to process. And there's a notice issue that is due to the state law, which is 39-3-1.2, which allows the plan to be submitted to the PUC. That law requires 2 weeks of notice in the newspaper prior to the public hearing. What we are being told is that that advertisement period didn't happen. In addition, there was an inability to fulfill or implement the, as the council president has stated, the ability for people to register their concerns or complaints electronically. So that is the process issue that we were trying to get presented to everyone. I think this is a wonderful piece of legislation. I think it's an important piece of legislation. The issue before us is process, and it is a concern for the body, and that is why we were sending it to the Finance Committee, so we would have an opportunity to ferret out this advertisement issue. So I don't know if the solicitor wants to weigh in at this point or can provide any further guidance.
As to the second, the inability to register, I'm not aware of that. I can't speak to that. Whether that sounds like a technical issue you may be referring to. As far as that's
a lesser concern.
Yeah.
The advertisement is the issue.
Yeah, as far as the notice, I know our office had reviewed the relevant regulations and state law and was satisfied that notice requirements had been complied with. I hear what you're saying, Majority Leader, but I'm just telling you that my office had been in contact with the Sustainability Office and the Clerk's Office and had been satisfied that the requirements had been met.
So we're getting differing information.
I understand.
Which is concerning for us to be passing something if there is a lingering issue relative to notice.
I know that Leader Ryan, can I move on to Chairman Igliosi, who has his hand up earlier?
Thank you, Council President.
Thank you. Chairman Igliosi, are you all set?
Hang on, can you hear me? For me, it's kind of funny, we use the word transparency a lot, and that's the watchword lately. If everybody's saying, and if the law department will go on the record, put it in writing, and the city solicitor says, I reviewed the laws, it's all set, I'm fine, then I'll be fine just moving forward. My position is very simple. I always want to follow the law, and I know sometimes it gets in the way of timing of things, but I want to make sure we follow the law. If the city solicitor wants to go on the record and put it in writing that as attached to it, that he reviewed all the state statutes, he reviewed all the processes, and his office 100% supports it, there is no issue there, then I see no reason why we can't just move on with it tonight, as long as he puts it, attach it as part of the record. And because I think that the notice problem is, all respect, won't get resolved with us, because if they needed to do, it's not us, it's that committee, the sustainability group. If they were supposed to do the process and put it on notice and do 2 weeks of comment, right, and allow people to speak, at least to submit a comment period, and they did not follow it, it would be their violation. If they didn't do the proper notice and didn't have the proper setup through the Zoom meeting or otherwise meeting, that'll be their violation. So I have no problem as long as the city solicitor puts, like I said, puts it in writing for the record. I say, because we're not going to be able to solve that if there's a notice violation or violation of the state statute. We're not going to resolve it in committee. They'll have to deal with it, the sustainability committee. So my suggestion would be, if the city solicitor is comfortable, he puts it in writing. There's no problem. If someone questions it, it'll be between the city solicitor and the sustainability committee, and not us. Meanwhile, we can keep on promoting a positive. At the end of the day, it's a positive piece of legislation. And so I would suggest that if he does that, and then I would see no problem if we just then move it forward and pass it tonight, and let's just be on with it. And the people, if anybody has a problem, it's going to be that committee and the city solicitor's office. It won't be us, the council, because at least we did our part to support the initiative. So that's my suggestion, Madam President and Vice Chair.
Thank you, Chairman Iglesias. I have Councilwoman, Solicitor, you wanted to respond to that?
I'm sorry,
Is that Mr. Solicitor, were you trying to respond to that?
Yes, I was just gonna say that I thought that's well put by the chairman, and if it helps put folks at ease, I'm happy to, subsequent to your vote, happy to do further review with my office on the review that happened when we signed off on it. And if I find that we made a mistake, I'll report back to the council and also advise the sustainability office that there needs to be a redo. So to satisfy the concerns that have been raised prior about timing issues, I think it would not be inappropriate to just move forward, vote on the matter, and if we determine that we were incorrect in our advice that notice requirements have been satisfied, I will report immediately back to the council as well as to the sustainability office and suggest that the proper process be followed.
Thank you. I'm going to go with the council members that have not spoken first. So I'm going with Councilwoman Kerwin.
Thank you, Madam President. I'll be brief. I just wanted to echo the concerns that have already been raised about not voting for this tonight. I think we really have a tough timeline ahead of us, and I think this policy is extremely urgent, and I would love to see a vote on the floor tonight. You know, I think that to stall this legislation is a disservice, as Councilwoman LaFortune said, to our community members, and I'm fully in support of voting for it on the floor.
Thank you. Councilman Espinal, do you have your hands raised?
Yes, thank you, Madam Chairs. And I can certainly understand the concerns that have been raised, and it's all about the process. I think we're not agreed that this is a great plan, and we're willing to move forward with that. But I am not at all worried about the process at all, because we have a very competent law department, where we have a city solicitor, and in a time of confusion, they're there for us to turn to them. I am a legislator, city council person, I'm not an attorney, so I am turning to our attorney, which is the city solicitor, and he has no concern, he has no problem. He seems to be very confident about the step that we're taking. So with that in mind, I suggest that we move forward and we take a vote on it tonight.
Thank you, Councilwoman Anthony.
Yes, I would thank everyone very much for speaking in support of this, and I would ask that we vote against the referral and vote to support this matter.
There is not need to take a vote on the referral. Leader Ryan?
Would you like me to make a motion to pass and a roll call vote? Your call. You have a,
yes,
you have a referral.
Yeah,
Point of order, you have a referral.
Yeah, I just want to check with the clerk, what should we do with the referral? Just
You could just ask the sponsor, that would be okay to reconsider this item.
so, so they're asking the sponsor to reconsider the item number, sorry, I lost.
35.
35, item number 35. Can we reconsider item number 35?
Yes, please.
Yes, okay.
Can we just have a voice vote on to reconsider?
Can we have, so Leader Ryan, do you want to put a motion for a voice vote
Motion
to
to
reconsider
pass
it?
on item 35.
Leader
Do we
Ryan,
need to reconsider?
sorry.
Do we need a motion to reconsider?
Yes.
Please.
Motion to reconsider item 35.
Second, Madam President.
Motion having made a second to reconsider item number 35. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Now
Opposed?
I'd like to make a motion to pass item 35 on a roll call vote. Based on the solicitor's input.
Is there a second?
Second, Madam President.
Okay, the motion has been made a second to pass item number 35 on a roll call vote based on the feedback from the city solicitor. Mr. Clerk, please call the roll.
Council President Matos,
Aye.
Councilwoman Anthony,
Aye.
Councilwoman Castillo,
Aye.
Councilman Correa is absent, Councilman Espinal,
Aye.
Councilman Goncalves,
Aye.
Councilwoman Harris,
Aye.
Councilman Igliozzi,
Aye, and also, I'd like to also co-sponsor it too, if I could, if it's not too late.
so noted. Councilor Kerwin,
Aye.
Councilwoman LaFortune,
Aye.
Councilor Miller is absent, Councilman Narducci is absent, Councilwoman Ryan,
Aye.
Councilor Salvatore,
Aye.
Councilman Taylor is absent. You have 11 ayes and 4 absent. The matter passes on a roll call vote. Item 36, Councilman Goncalves and
Madam
Espinal.
President,
Leader Ryan?
motion to ask the clerk to read and pass on, to read items 36 and 38 into the record and to pass on a roll call vote.
Second, Madam President.
Okay. The motion has been to ask the clerk to read items 36 through 38, and these items are going to be passed on a roll call vote. Mr. Clerk?
Item 36, Councilman Goncalves and Espinal, resolution commemorating Nelson Mandela International Day. I have an additional co-sponsor of Councilwoman LaFortune. Are there any additional co-sponsors?
I would like to co-sponsor Espinal, Salvatore, Harris, Igliozzi, Castillo, Kerwin, Espinal. You got Espinal?
Yes.
Yes, I'm a co-sponsor already.
Your hands is up, Councilman Espinal. Sorry.
Oh, my apology.
Okay. Okay, Mr. Clerk, I would like to co-sponsor also.
So noted. We
Thank
have
you.
Councilors Matos, Salvatore, Harris, Igliozzi, Castillo, Kerwin, and LaFortune.
Oh.
added to the document.
Anthony and Ryan also.
So noted. Item 37, Councilwoman Ryan, Councilman Correa, and Espinal. Resolution requesting the Department of Public Works immediately implement a citywide rodent elimination program. Any additional co-sponsors?
Can I co-sponsor twice?
Me too.
So Councilwoman Castillo, Councilman Igliozzi,
There's an act for that.
Councilman Salvatore, Councilwoman Harris, Councilwoman LaFortune. Councilwoman Anthony? Did I have everybody? Councilman Goncalves? Councilwoman Kerwin?
Thank you.
Council.
Councilman Goncalves, you would like to speak on this item?
Yes, I think I may have already signed on as a co-sponsor, so I just wanted to clarify that.
We have
You haven't? Okay, thank you. Yep.
Item 38, Councilman Salvatore, Correa, and Councilwoman Ryan. Resolution recognizing Reverend Brian J. Shanley, OP, for his honorable service as president of Providence College. Any additional co-sponsors?
Councilman Salvatore, Councilwoman Castillo.
Madam President?
Estel Igliosi.
Thank you.
Harris. I have, and myself also would like to co-sponsor. I have raised hands by Leader Ryan, and then after I have Councilman Salvatore. Councilwoman Anthony, you want to co-sponsor? Councilwoman Anthony wants to co-sponsor. Councilman Goncalves wants to co-sponsor. Then now I'll go to Leader Ryan.
Thank you, Madam President. I would like to speak on item 37. I was pleased to earn your co-sponsorship of many of my colleagues, but as we all know, there's been a increased amount of constituent reports of rodents in our neighborhoods. There's some thoughts that perhaps it's because there's, so many families are at home because of COVID-19, and there's an increased amount of trash. There's a theory that we have a number of barrels that are broken. There's another theory that we have a lot of construction work happening. Thanks to the capital improvement program, we have a lot of streets that are being torn up and replaced. We have a number of projects in our parks, all wonderful things. But it seems that there has been just this increased number of rodents. And that is the reason for the resolution. Quite frankly, we have one person in our DPW department that goes out and baits for rodents. He seems to be overwhelmed and overtaxed. So the resolution asks for a plan to abate or mitigate the issue of rodents, which is a health and safety issue for our neighborhoods. But also getting out to the community on the message that if they have barrels that are broken, that they should ask for replacement barrels through DPW. You can do that online or you can call. Again, it's a quality of life issue. I think it's an important resolution, and I thank my colleagues for co-sponsoring with me. That's on 37, but I'd also like to speak very briefly on 38, which was introduced by my colleague, Councilman Salvatore. As many of you know, I'm a very proud graduate of Providence College. My undergrad work and my MBA from there. And I know Father Shanley very well. He's a personal friend of mine. I'd like to just offer a friendly amendment as the resolution, the first paragraph of the resolution references that he's the only Rhode Island native to ever serve as president. That is actually not true. Father John Cunningham actually was born in Providence on August 7th, 1928. He served as president of the college, and Cunningham Square is named after him. So I would just like to ask my colleague if it is okay with him. I did ask to be a co-sponsor on this, but I do believe, to correct the record, we should amend his resolution, and I will leave that to him.
Thank you, Leader Ryan. Next is Councilman Salvatore. Councilman Salvatore.
Thank you, Madam President. At this time, I would respectfully ask the clerk if he could read the resolution attached to item number 38 into the record. I don't see an issue with the amendment that the majority leader proposed.
Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman Salvatore. Councilman Salvatore, can we just make the amendment and then ask the clerk to read it? Are you okay with them?
Yes, that's fine.
I'll make the motion to amend the resolution before us, item 38, removing after Providence College in the first paragraph, the language "and is also the only Rhode Island native to ever serve as president." This like those words.
Second, Madam President.
Thank you.
The motion has been made and second to amend item number 38. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. Mr. Clerk, could you please read item number 38? Did you catch the amendment?
I did,
Thanks.
Council.
Can you please read it? Thanks.
Whereas Reverend Brian J. Shanley, OP, is the longest-serving president in the 100-year history of Providence College, and whereas on June 30th, 2020, Father Shanley's tenure as president of Providence College ended following 15 years of guiding the school through a period of remarkable change and growth, and whereas under Father Shanley's presidency, the college built upon its proud heritage as a Catholic liberal arts institution, sustained its commitment to its ideals, and modified both practices and facilities in ways that have enhanced its national profile and created a sustainable platform for long-term success. And whereas Father Shanley has overseen a substantial transformation of the Providence College campus, including the additions of the Ruane Center for the Humanities, the Arthur F. and Patricia Ryan Center for Business Studies, and the Ruane Fryer Development Center, as well as a completely re-envisioned model for pedestrian and vehicular movement around the campus. And whereas Father Shanley made diversity a high priority of his administration, establishing the advancement of diversity as one of the core values of both Providence College's 2011 strategic plan and its 2018 successor plan, which has resulted in the percentage of undergraduate students from diverse backgrounds almost tripling to approximately 20% of the student body population since 2005. And the percentage of diverse full-time faculty has risen from 8% to 17% over the same time period. And whereas Providence College is one of the 10 largest employers within the city of Providence and a major driver of the local economy, and as a result of Father Shanley's leadership, the college maintained a strong commitment to the city through more than 55,000 hours of student community service, assisting over 150 different social service agencies, community groups, public, private, and charter schools, and city government offices. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the City Council of the City of Providence does hereby recognize Reverend Brian J. Shanley, OP, for his dedicated service to the residents of the City of Providence through his 15 years serving as the president of Providence College.
Thank you. Leader Ryan, I see your hands are still raised, so you wanted to add?
I think the resolution says it all. Quite frankly, he is a remarkable man. We were very fortunate to have him as the leader of the college. Well-written resolution. Kudos to my council colleague, Councilman Salvatore. He was truly a transformational leader, and the college is certainly the better for it, as well as they have, they're a good partner for the city of Providence. So thank you very much.
Thank you. So I just want to remind everyone, we're voting on the items 36 through 38. Any other discussion on those items? Mr. Clerk, please call the roll.
Actually, could I ask the mover of the motion to rescind their motion and make a new motion to
As amended.
item 36 and 37, as well as item 38 as amended on a roll call vote?
Okay, I rescind my motion to move 36 and 38 on a roll call vote.
Second.
I make them all in favor. Sorry.
So the motion has been rescinded. All the favor, aye. Then new
Madam
motion.
President, I make a motion
Leader Ryan.
to, thank you, Madam President. I make a motion to pass item items 36 and 37 on a roll call vote.
Second that motion, Madam President.
Leader Ryan, can you please add 38 as amended also to your motion?
Can I do that, clerk?
Is that
Sure.
Okay, so a motion to pass items 36 and 37 and 38 as amended. Will that work on a roll call vote?
Second that amendment, Madam President.
okay, the motion has been made as second. We're gonna pass items 36 and 37, and we're gonna pass item 38 as amended. All those, Mr. Clerk, call the roll.
Council President Matos.
Aye.
Councilwoman Anthony.
Aye.
Councilwoman Castillo.
Aye.
Councilman Correa is absent. Councilman Espinal.
Aye.
Councilman Goncalves.
Aye.
Councilwoman Harris.
Aye.
Councilman Igliozzi.
Aye.
Councilor Kerwin.
Yes on 36 and 37, abstain on 38.
Councilwoman LaFortune.
Aye.
Councilor Miller is absent. Councilman Narducci is absent. Councilwoman Ryan.
Aye.
Councilor Salvatore.
Aye.
Councilman Taylor is absent. You have 11 ayes and 4 absent on items 36 and 37. You have 10 ayes, 1 abstention, and 4 absent on item 38. The several matters pass on a roll call vote.
Thank you.
Reports from committees. Committee on Urban Development.
Madam President,
Leader Ryan.
motion to ask the clerk to read items 39 and 40 into the record and to pass on a roll call vote.
Second, Madam President.
Motion has been made and second to ask the clerk to read the items 39 and 40, and this item is going to be passed on a roll call vote. Mr. Clerk?
These items are coming from the Committee on Urban Redevelopment, Renewal, and Planning, from Councilwoman Mary Kay Harris, Chairwoman. Item 39, resolution requesting to rename Arduin Park to Thomas Slater Park. Item 40, resolution requesting to change the address for the building identified as 30 Kennedy Plaza and 63 Westminster Street to 50 Westminster Street and 90 Westminster Street.
Mr. Clerk, please call the roll.
Madam President,
Um,
may
leader,
may I co-sponsor item number 39 before the roll, please?
Thank you. I would like to co-sponsor also on 39.
So noted.
Leader Ryan also. Please call the roll.
Council President Matos.
Aye.
Councilwoman Anthony.
Aye.
Councilwoman Castillo. Councilwoman,
Can you text Castillo?
are you present? Kick back to her and try her at the end of the roll call. Councilman Correa is
Can we go back?
Yes, I'll go back to her when we get to the end of the roll. Councilman Espinal.
Aye.
Councilman Goncalves.
Aye.
Councilwoman Harris.
Aye.
Councilman Igliozzi.
Aye.
Councilor Kerwin.
Aye.
Councilwoman LaFortune.
So mute.
Aye, sorry.
Councilor Miller is absent. Councilman Narducci is absent. Councilwoman Ryan.
Aye.
Councilor Salvatore.
Aye.
Councilor Taylor is absent. Councilman Taylor is absent. Is Councilwoman Castillo available to vote?
Councilwoman Castillo?
I will
She's absent.
mark her as absent. You
I think
have,
she's muted, folks. She's here, but she's muted.
Yes.
Councilwoman Castillo?
She's not responding, so I guess
Okay.
she's going to be absent for this vote.
we have 10 ayes and 5 absent. The several matters pass on a roll call vote.
Thank you.
Committee on Ordinances, Councilwoman Joanne Ryan, Chairwoman.
Madam President,
Leader Ryan.
motion to ask the clerk to read items 41 and 42 into the record and to pass for the first time. A roll call vote.
Second, Madam President.
The motion has been made and second to ask the clerk to read items 41 and 42 into the record, and those items going to be passed on a roll call vote for the first time. Mr. Clerk.
These items are from the Committee on Ordinances. Councilwoman Joanne Ryan, Chairwoman. Item 41, an ordinance and amendment of Chapter 27 of the Code of Ordinances of the City of Providence entitled the City of Providence Zoning Ordinance, approved November 24th, 2014, as amended to change certain text in Article 12 regarding the incinerator/waste facility use category. Item 42, an ordinance amending Chapter 15, Motor Vehicles and Traffic, Section 15-11, residential parking/standing of certain commercial vehicles.
So a motion has been made and second for this item. Mr. Clerk, can you please read, call the vote, please?
Council President Matos,
Aye.
Councilwoman Anthony,
Aye.
Councilwoman Castillo. Could you please
Yes.
just raise your hand, Councilwoman Castillo, to signal that you are voting in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
Councilman Correa is absent. Councilman Espinal,
Aye.
Councilman Goncalves,
Aye.
Councilwoman Harris,
Aye.
Councilman Igliozzi,
Aye.
Councilor Kerwin,
Aye.
Councilwoman LaFortune,
Aye.
Councilor Miller is absent. Councilman Narducci is absent. Councilwoman Ryan,
Aye.
Councilor Salvatore,
Aye.
Councilman Taylor is absent. You have 11 ayes and 4 absent. The several matters passed for the first time on a roll call vote. Item 43, an ordinance and amendment of Chapter 27 of the Code of Ordinances of the City of Providence entitled the City of Providence Zoning Ordinance, approved November 24th, 2014, as amended to amend Article 16, Section 1604, entitled Illumination Standards, and Article 20, Section 2005, entitled Non-Conforming Signs. And I have an
Madam-
additional
Sorry.
I just have an additional co-sponsor here, noted the Councilwoman LaFortune.
Can we just clarify, Councilwoman LaFortune, are you signing as a co-sponsor for item number 43? You're muted.
Yes, I am. Sorry.
Okay, all right. So Councilwoman LaFortune signed as a co-sponsor. Leader Ryan.
Thank you, Madam President. I'd like to make a motion to continue item 43 at this time at the petitioner's request.
Second that motion, Madam President.
Motion has been made and second to continue item number 43. All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Opposed? The ayes have it. Mr. Clerk?
From the clerk's desk, item 44, petitions for compensation for
Aye.
injuries and
Council President.
Councilman Goncalves, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Councilman Goncalves.
Sorry, can I speak on that matter? I had my hand raised for that one.
Sorry, I didn't see you. If you can use also the Zoom raising hands, because we're trying to keep tab of everybody who raised their hands. But go ahead, Councilman Goncalves.
So just to clarify, we're continuing that?
Yes, we're not voting on that item tonight. It's going to be continued to our next meeting.
Okay, can someone clarify maybe what the reasoning is behind that?
Leader
Madam
Ryan, do you want
President,
to? Leader Ryan?
I made a motion to continue the matter at the petitioner's request.
Councilman Goncalves?
Great. Thank you.
Okay. Any other question about this item? Item number 43? Right. Mr. Clerk, going back to item 44?
Item 44, petitions for compensation for injuries and damages.
Refer to the Committee on Claims and Pending Suits.
Communications and reports. Item 45, communication from His Honor the Mayor dated June 17, 2020.
Madam President,
Leader Ryan? Leader Ryan?
motion to ask the clerk to read items 45 through 48 into the record and to receive.
Second, Madam President.
Motion has been made and second to ask the clerk to read items 45 through 48 into the record, and those items will be received. Mr. Clerk.
Item 45, communication from His Honor the Mayor dated June 17, 2020, informing the honorable members of the City Council and Deming, Sherman, Edwards, Wildman, Palmer, LLP, 1 Financial Plaza, Providence, Rhode Island, 02903. He is this day reappointing Lisa Carnavale as a member of the Capitol Center Commission for a term to expire on June 30th, 2024. Item 46, communication from His Honor the Mayor dated June 17th, 2020, informing the honorable members of the City Council and Cliff Wood, Executive Director, Providence Foundation, that pursuant to Section 302B of the Providence Home Rule Charter of 1980 as amended, and Section 21-221C of the Code of Ordinances of the City of Providence, he is this day appointing Tom Parrish, Executive Director of Trinity Repertory Company, as a member of the Downtown Providence Management District Authorization Board of Directors for a term to expire on June 30th, 2023. Item 47, report from Sean Selleck, City Clerk, dated July 8, 2020, of all monies received, transmitted to, and credited by the City Collector for fiscal quarter of April 1st, 2020, to and including June 30th, 2020, in a total amount of $676.50. Item 48, report from Sean Selleck, City Clerk, dated June 8, 2020, of all monies received, transmitted to and credited by the City Collector for fiscal year ending June 30th, 2020, in a total amount of $7,310.35.
Thank you. All items are being received.
Presentation of resolutions and congratulations. Item 49, Council President Matos and members of the City Council. Resolution extending congratulations.
Madam President.
Leader Ryan.
I move to pass item 49 on a voice vote.
Second, Madam President.
Motion has been made and second to pass item number 49 on a voice vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? The ayes have it.
Presentation of resolutions in memoriam. Item 50, Council President Matos and members of the City Council. Resolution extending sympathy.
Madam President.
Leader Ryan.
Motion to pass item 50 on a unanimous rising vote.
Second, Madam President.
The motion has been made and second to pass item number 50 on a unanimous rising vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Leader Ryan?
Madam President, seeing that there's no further business before this honorable body, I make a motion to adjourn.
Before we adjourn, Madam President, may we adjourn in the honor of Samuel Vaughan, a longtime advocate. He passed away. He was a longtime advocate in Providence. He spent most of his time working at Rhode Island Hospital, and he was also the pastor of St. James Church in Woonsocket. He has many, many other things I can say about him, but let's do it in his honor. Thank you.
I withdraw, Madam President, I withdraw my motion and accept the deputy leader's recommendation that we adjourn this meeting in memory of Samuel Vaughan. Thank you.
Second that motion, Madam President. Thank you so much.
Motion has been made and second to adjourn on the memory of Samuel Vaughan All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed? The ayes have it. Thank you. Have a good
Thank you.
break. See
Be well and
you
be safe.
all